All righty, as we get set to set the gate once more, we got our 51 4-6 special limited class. This will be race number 30 in the race number right now, and we're also looking at the 4-6 ShaftDrive limited, ready to roll here in race number 30. Check them out. Look at that. What's up, Dad? That's number 15, Ryan Herring there, out of Live Oak, California. They got, wow. All right, so as we get set to go, we got 30 entries in the 50 4-6 special limited and the 30 entries in the ShaftDrive limited. So as we set the gate, the first drop of the gate is going to be this special limited class, I believe. We got the number 12, Evan Braswell out of Forsyth, Georgia. The 13, Mason Rayner out of Albertson, North Carolina. The 15, Ryan Herring out of Live Oak, California. 16, Ezra Robertson out of Denham Springs, Louisiana. 17, Jaden Adams out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Number 18 is Carson Adams out of Livingston, Louisiana. 21 will be Wesley Baldwin from Elko, Nevada. 23 of Walker Herndon out of Conley Springs, North Carolina. 24 is Wyatt Thurman from Temecula, California. 27 of Preston Ross from Lebanon, Ohio. Number 30, Easton Graves out of Walker, Louisiana. The 31 of Michaela Gilbert out of Auburn, Washington. We've also got the 32 of Knox Lewin out of Hopkinsville, Iowa. Number 36 is Danny Haynes out of East Canton, Ohio. Number 37, Michael Sandridge out of Spring Hill, Kansas. The 40 of Kieran Lynch out of York Haven, Pennsylvania. 41 will be Jake Willis out of Carlsbad, New Mexico. 48 is Christopher Harris from Lippin, Texas. Number 49 will be Aiden Ferguson out of Indian Trail, North Carolina. The 51 machine is that of Gage Durham. He's out of Golden, Colorado. The 60 of Colton Waits out of Troy, Ohio. 66 will be Memphis McGinn out of Stevensville, Maryland. The 68 is Brandon McKee, and he's out of Medina, Ohio, along with the 71 Trenton Burton out of Russell's Point, Ohio. 72 Ryder Hendrickson out of Midway, Utah. The 77 will be Gavin Gamby out of Phoenix, Arizona. The 81, Trey Renfro from Orlando, Florida. 85 is Charles Morris out of Royal Palm Beach, Florida. 88, Ryan Pace from Kill Devil Hill, North Carolina. 91 will be Mason Arico out of Center Moriches, New York. And we've got 30 of the 51 4-6 ShaftDrive that will also be taking off here in just a few moments. So checking the line here for the first gate drop.
Looks like Alexander Goatley on the number 9 machine out of Louisville, Kentucky. Weston Crumley out of Spring Hill, Tennessee on the number 11. Tread McElvain on the 14. Austin Meads on the number 19. Tyler Fraley, he rides the number 20. Matthew Bonner on the number 22. Landon Bailu on the number 25. Carson Wood on the 26. The 28 machine of Dawson White. The 29 of Hayden Lemon. Alexander Reed is on the 33. Eli Wolf rides the 34. The 35 belongs to Ryder Holland. Colt Adams on the number 45. Matthew Williams on the 46. Ryder Skodris on the 47. 50 machine of Jaden Lewis. Colin Holbrook on the 52. Jensen Baylor rides the 53. Matthew Norridge on the 55. Walker Brown on the 58. Braden Malgren on the 59. Austin Smith on the 62. Canton Richards on the 78. Colton Derrico on the 80. Caleb Luttrell on the 82. Carter Clay on the 87. Chase Wilder on the 92. Taylor Evan on the 93. And Kevin DePinho on the 94, Rodney.
All righty, looks like, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that was a 91 of Mason Arico out of Center Moriches, New York. It sounds like we got a microphone battery going dead there, guys. You might want to kill that that channel. But next up is the ShaftDrive getting ready to drop. As we say, congratulations. Actually, Gage Dunham, it was a 51 from Golden, Colorado, taking the whole shot there in the special limited 4 to 6-year-old class. Yeah, that usually means the battery's dying.
All right, to 51. I'm sorry, our ShaftDrive riders making their way right now. 4 to 6 shaft limited underway. Round turn number 1. These guys headed into that left-handed turn number 2. A couple different lines here. These ShaftDrive guys making a go at it. Up and over the hump, taking the short way around our leaders so far.
Well, already both these classes out and about. And riders 4 to 6 years old. I know Kevin and Jason, we're talking with those riders in the 7 to 8-year-old division there a few moments ago, and watching some great battles that we're developing with those riders as well. And we've seen a lot of great things out of those youngsters. But here, these are kind of like the grassroots of the grassroots program as far as I'm concerned with these, especially with those shaft drive riders and the special limited class. I mean, the 4 to 6, both these 4 to 6-year-old classes, the riders, some of the most inexperienced as far as actually whenever you put it into the effect of how long they've been racing, but for as little as they've been racing, man, they look as experienced as anybody out there in a 65cc class, one of the 7 to 8-year-old classes, it seems.
You know, that's the thing. Already got a couple years. A lot of them in this class at 6 years old, already been riding a couple years. We talk about the 4 to 6 special limited, then we talk about the shaft drive class. That shaft drive, interesting proposition. A lot of parents buying that PW, buying that shaft drive machine simply to get the skills down, get the starting, the stopping, the motor skills. But you know what? It's the first step in the Loretta Lynn's program is also that PW machine, that shaft drive machine.
Walker Herndon and Wyatt Thurman, the 23 and 24 machine, doing battle. It's the 24 of Thurman as they roll through the sweeper turn now and near the completion. That's a battle, I believe, for the second place position, if I'm not mistaken, and maybe even third. We see Mason Rayner just ahead of them out of Albertson, North Carolina. We'll sort them out as they come past the finish line, but we've got some good position jockeying going on out here between these riders, and I imagine it's going to go like this pretty much all the way down to the wire.
Rodney, watching that last race, absolutely amazed at how these guys were able to traverse some of these ruts out there and some of these corners. These guys so experienced riding local tracks behind the big bikes, you know, riding on legit tracks. These guys know how to handle the braking bumps, know how to handle the ruts, and know where their bikes fit, you know where to stick them in between the major racing lines and that type of thing. So absolutely incredible to watch the bike skills of these young riders.
So Mason Rayner, your leader in the 4 to 6 special limited class at the end of lap number 1. That was Wyatt Thurman and Walker Herndon battling for the number 2 spot. Ryan Herring, the number 15, is 4th. Colton Waits back in 5th when we got Knox 11 and 6. Gage Dunham is 7th. He got the whole shot. Wesley Baldwin is 8th. 9th, Jaden Adams. Rounding out the top 10, Jake Willis after that first lap of race. And then we see Ryan Pace, Kieran Lynch, Preston Ross, Trenton Button, and Memphis McGinn in the top 15. 16 through 20 sees Michael Sandridge, Gavin Gamble in 17th. 18th is Carson Adams, followed by Evan Braswell and Christopher Harris to round out the top 20. The 51 shafted drive.
Yes,
51 4 to 6 shaft drive class. Checking in here in just a moment. Right now the battles continue to ensue out here, and we got some special announcements to make, it seems like.
Yeah, I got our Pro Rider orientation coming up at 4 o'clock, and that's in the pits over at Suzuki, running an awesome program over there. So Pro Rider orientation class coming up at 4 o'clock. So just about 10 minutes away, Rodney, over in the Suzuki pits.
Sounds great. And as we continue to motor through this moto, look at the competition and the level of it, how things have actually elevated here. The 15 of Ryan Herring is really putting the pressure on both Herndon and Thurman for the second and third place positions right now. And we're already seeing a few changes take place. I believe he has gotten around Thurman the way things are appearing now, and checking in on now the new second place ride of Walker Herndon. And Herndon is feeling the heat, and he's trying to rise to the occasion as they come out the back section.
I tell you what, the race strategies, look at these guys. Choosing alternate lines, 3 different lines through this corner by 3 different riders. These guys definitely putting it together, definitely know they can't win by following, and the experience of these guys shows are absolutely amazing, man.
Ryan Herring moves into the number 2 spot. The 24, at least for a moment, back up to at least the number 3 spot. Wyatt Thurman, Walker Herndon dropping back to 4th in that little exchange, and now back to the number 3 spot is Herndon, and Thurman now drops back to 4th. So, I mean, a lot of few exchanges taking place in that short section of racetrack right there.
Yeah, very little real estate, a lot of action.
Yeah.
No kidding. When watching these guys come across the infield camelback, you look at these guys. each one of them trying to get that bike back on the ground.
I want you to take a look at this turn right here. We call it the infield camelback, and we'll continue with your thought. But look how the moguls start on that downhill section of that camelback there. It kind of moguls down, and then it just kind of transitions all the way through the inside of that sweeper turn. It's almost as if the track designers designed it to be like that, but actually natural progression is what brought it to that.
Exactly. I was kind of leading these guys smart enough that they were actually getting those bikes back on the ground so they could roll those first couple and have the rhythm going in, because this thing has changed so much from the original design.
It has, and the 13 machine, Mason Rayner, still out front. He's enjoying about a 7-second lead now over the 15 of Ryan Herring. Looking at lap times, that may not be so comfortable for so long, though, because Herring popping off a 3:14.5 lap time. Your leader a 3:18, and that's his fastest thus far. And Herring, with doing a little bit of the math, if he can continue at that 5 or 4 second faster pace, he'll be a couple of seconds behind at the end of the next lap. And at the end of the next one, or during the next one, we should see a major battle ensue. But I kind of expect to see it maybe tighten up a little bit more even before that, because Herring, remember, was battling and had to pass 2 people to get into the number 2 spot to pull within 6.8 seconds.
Well, he's covered the most ground, the most territory so far, and actually seems to be the guy on the move. When we look over on the other side, it is what is it? Karen DePino? Is that how you say it?
Kevin DePino.
Kevin DePino, okay.
Yeah, Alexander Goatley back in the number 2 spot. We see Landon Bailu is 3rd, Colton DeRico in 4th, Carson Wood in the number 5 spot. Little Walker Brown, the number 58, he runs in 6th. Carton Richards is 7th. Xander Reed is in the 8th place position. We see Weston Crumley, the number 11, in 9th, and rounding out the top 10 will be Hayden Lemon, the number 29.
The top 4 guys in that class only separated by 6 seconds, Rodney. So it doesn't matter which class you're looking at. You know, these guys are going for it out here. These guys absolutely displaying the skills that they've watched and practiced here for so long. They made it to the big show. Man, they're giving it everything they got right now, and keeping an eye on Herring, trying to get that number 1 position, trying to close the gap on Mason Rayner.
Rayner coming out of the waterworks and the Storyland area now as he heads for the Rocky Mountain Sweeper. We see some flags are out, and that indicating we got some riders on the track there that are trying to get remounted and rolling and able to traverse through that area of the racetrack. A big thing coming up here for the number 13 is all this lap traffic. This could maybe be a big favor for him, or it could, again, cause a lot of problems depending on how well he is able to traverse the traffic and versus how well that second-place ride of Ryan Herring is able to do the same.
Yeah, that's the big thing. Looks like
now look at that. Did you just see that? You see within just probably 8 or 10 bike lengths now, the number 15 is pulled up onto the number 13, and that's happened since they got in that group of those little PWs, those ShaftDrive riders out there. So the lap traffic, like I said, is playing kind of a big role in it. And here's that section of the track I was talking about, the moguls, downhill moguls, and now all the way through the inside of that sweeper turn.
Yeah, you see Herring there, or Rayner rather, looking for the smooth line, looking to the outsides right there. But Rodney, as you mentioned, that thing has just progressively turned longer and longer and longer. Now it looks like our battle for second place.
7th. This is the 7th place battle.
Place.
Yeah, Ryan Pace back there. He's actually battling for 6th place with Knox Levin, the 32 machine. Was less than a second behind him, 4/10 of a second. 4/10 of a second behind him is the 41 of Jake Willis. Well, that's the way it was when they came through the finish line there a moment ago. Anyway, as we look right now, we can see exactly what the battle is ensuing here. It looks like Willis has actually gotten around Pace now. So Willis, the 41, up from 8th to at least a 7th place position.
Good move there, too. Just picked his line, committed to it, looked like it was awful soft, and their bike waddled around a little bit. And there's that section you're talking about again, Rodney. Look at these guys making their way down off of there, and that thing's just continuing to go and go and go. There's one more step every time around, man.
Big roller section. I don't know if you're looking at the trees, but my daughter stated it to me like this one day. Dad, the skies get a little dark and the trees are starting to look a little angry. And as I look out across the landscape here, I am starting to see the wind start to pick up and the leaves start to turn a little bit. The skies are also starting to darken up here, so we may see another weather pattern start to develop or try to work its way through. Hopefully we'll skirt this one and not have any more moisture, or maybe it'd be something like what we saw earlier today, which wouldn't be so bad. But right now, riders are racing on a perfect racetrack, under perfect conditions. Mason Rayner, Ryan Herring, less than a second apart as they work their way through the lap traffic. Keeping an eye out on a few other riders like Wyatt Thurman. He's back there about 22 seconds in third now, and Herndon another 4 seconds behind him. So we see big changes there. Colton Waits is fifth. Knox Lewin is sixth. Jake Willis is seventh. Ryan Pace in eighth. Wesley Baldwin in ninth, and Jaden Adams rounds out the top 10. Here's the battle for the lead we've been waiting and watching for, and the leader now, Ryan Herring. I don't think the battle is, well, it's pretty much gone as far as Herring is concerned.
Wow,
as
look
he's
at
already
that.
gone by and checking out right now, and you can see that Mason Rayner's putting his head down, and he knows that he's got to play catch-up, and he's doing a great job of it. Look at the intensity at which he's riding that now. Look at the air he's getting on that thing back there.
Rayner bringing it, man. Not going to settle for that. Not going to give up that position easily. Guy wants his spot back, and my goodness, renewed vigor from that man right now. Mason Rayner bringing the attack back. Got passed by Herring, and holy cow, not wanting to settle for that. Rodney, look at this. Coming back to the inside.
Wow.
Tried to square him up, Rodney.
Now, these guys right here, the cool thing about these special limited classes, they're actually a little different. I mean, there's like 4 or 5 different kinds of 50s.
Oh, yeah.
You got the juniors, the seniors, these limited kind. You got the oil-injected or shaft drive ones now. And these, they create different things. And look at I mean, these machines don't have, I mean, you wouldn't really recognize that they would be this fierce, but these kids are able to pull every ounce of horsepower out of them and just utilize it out here on this racetrack. And you know what? Looks like little braking and acceleration bumps for the bigger bipes. Man, these things, they're doubling up on some of these, and they're really getting through this racetrack and doing it aggressively. I'm really impressed with what these young 4 to 6-year-old riders are able to achieve out here at such a young age. And it's a young man and machine just putting it to the test out here right now. White flag is out. One more lap to go as we head into the AMSOIL last lap for both our 4 to 6 special limited and 4 to 6 shaft drive.
And when you look at the equipment, Rodney, that's what brings out the skill. As the equipment increases, so does the skill level. You know, PWs and Z50s is what my generation grew up on, and you actually race those sometimes. But, man, when you look at these little KTMs right now, when you look at some of the Cobras and bikes like that, they look like factory machines, man.
Yeah, they do. They absolutely do. And these kids ride like little factory riders, as a matter of fact.
All right, looks like last lap right now. Looks like Herring going to be able to hold on right now. And Mason Rayner right now.
So Jason Wygant getting ready to head down and congratulate these young men as they have battled so intensely through this first moto of racing action for these 4 to 6-year-old riders. And they had the biggest obstacles of all this week, but maybe not, because when they got ready to go out for practice the other day, that's when the skies opened up on Monday and dumped down all the water. So whenever they faced the racetrack yesterday, you got to think maybe they faced it at the worst possible time as far as the conditions, and they got a good look at that. So they came out here expecting the worst, so to speak, and not that it was bad, but you know what I mean. For those little guys, it probably seemed pretty bad, but this track, maybe not so bad for them. Uh-oh, we got problems down there for that second-place rider as he is down. So tough break for the 13 of Mason Rayner. He's down. He's got about a 35-second cushion, though, so he gets back up and keeps rolling. The bike didn't stall out or anything, Megawatt, and it looks like he's going to maintain second place without much issue.
Yeah, big break for him right there, keeping that bike running. If that thing would have stalled and he'd have had to pull it out of that deep sand over there, that might have been real costly. But like you said, had a nice cushion, bounced right back up, machine running, back in action right now, back on the track, bringing this one home here on the final lap, I believe.
Yes, it is. Whoa, mercy.
Man, holy cow.
That little feller, man, I tell you, he really took a shot there. But you know what? He didn't slow down at all. Didn't let off the throttle any whatsoever. I mean, he got redirected a little bit, straightened himself right back up, and kept right on rolling.
If there's one tip I've seen all these kids follow this week, Rodney, is when it gets sideways, don't let off. None of these kids have, man.
Oh,
I've seen
no.
these kids ride out of some situations so far this week. I've saw some great saves this week, man, for
yes,
sure.
Indeed. Ryan Herring going to take the win in the 4-6 special limited with Mason Rayner in second. Wyatt Thurman should take third. Walker Herndon, if he doesn't make up that 2.5 seconds, will finish up in fourth. Ryan Pace in fifth. Wesley Baldwin in sixth. Seventh would be Knox Lewin. Eighth, Jaden Adams. Colton Waits in the number 9 spot, and Preston Ross as they headed into the final lap of racing. Rounded out your top 10. As we look at the 51 4-6 shaft drive, Kevin DePino is about 13, almost 14 seconds ahead of the number 9 of Alexander Goatley. Goatley, a great ride himself, as now Alexander Reed pulling up to within 0.3 of a second of him. So, wow, that one tightening up at the 4-lap mark. And rain starting to fall. Wow, talk about just getting it in right there. Look at that. I believe we may see that as a finish for DePino and Goatley. But look at that. Goatley under pressure from Reed. Bailu right there with them as well. So a three-way shootout for the number 3 ride there. Walker Brown in the number 5 spot. 6th place is give it to him. Just take the mic. So
we know how efficient you are, Jason. We didn't want to let you down, man.
I think he took the microphone that I just took the batteries out of that was dying. So, yeah, that's why he was sprinting back. I thought he was coming back to get an umbrella. DePino, Goatley, Reed, Ballou, Brown. That's Walker Brown in 5th. Carson Wood in 6th. There's Tyler Fraley in 7th. I believe we should be seeing Colton DeRico, unless we see changes there, in the number 8 spot. Ryder Skadres. Skadres was actually outside the top 10 in the early part of this race, and he's moved all the way up into a 9th place position here at the finish, with Canton Richards rounding out the top 10 there. So that is your top 10 in both the 51 4-6 shaft drive and the 4-6 special limited class. As again, the rains have started falling, and I told you the skies are starting to look a little bit angry out, or a little bit dark, and the trees are starting to look a little bit angry. And exactly, yeah. So you couldn't, you just couldn't have called a better time. Now I know there's still a few little guys out there, moms and dads, sprinting out of the infield right now with everything they got, trying to get to the drive. But hey, this is the beauty of Loretta Lynn's, man. These crazy days like this right here, and it's going to set the stage, I think, as we continue to roll here.
Yeah, I believe this one's going to be really brief, Rodney. I believe this one's going to go right past us. When you talk about excitement, man, these youngsters did not fail to deliver either class, man. From the time the gate dropped, there was action, passes being made, lead changes. I mean, absolutely incredible. And here we are one more time. Mother Nature giving the track a natural drink right now. Going to soak that right up with no problem, I'm sure.
Jeff Russell's natural watering system. He's watering pit road right now. He's watering the racetrack. He's watering the infield.
I told you earlier that thing's on a timer down here, and you know.
Oh, look at that.
Look at that,
That's
my man.
That's precious right there.
That is. That's awesome. That's what it's all about right there,
I mean, look
dude.
at the face of that. I mean, this is the face of amateur motocross. This is where it all begins, the love, the
Good job,
desire
Dad, able
for
to get that bike up on the stage despite the mud and the vans. We'll pop that bike on up and pop the collar, pop the top, pop the bubbly. We get ourselves a gold medal for Ryan Herring. I got you here. We got to separate that. It'll work. We've done it all week. All right. They go back and forth. I understand. They think they know it all. All right, let's hear about it, Ryan Herring. How was your race?
Good. I got a bad start, though.
And you came back and won?
Yeah.
Awesome. Who do you want to thank?
My dad, my mom, my brothers, and that's all.
All right, let's hear it for Ryan Herring taking the win. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, good job. Thank you. I got to hustle. We got 6 riders. Congrats. We'll see you in the next one. I'm yelling over the microphone right now. I need a 13 rider. Just a rider. Just a rider. Just a rider. Yep. Wow, it's coming down in sheets now. Woo. Mason Rayner on the number 13. Let's hear it for Mason Rayner. All right, we'll give you the silver. Yeah. Why don't we have that in every class? Big air horn. Yeah, how good is that? Does that feel good?
Yeah,
How was your race, Mason?
good.
Who do you want to thank?
Mom and Dad, MXN, Born Racing, Moto Vest, First Choice Home, Doug Henry, and Air Force.
Awesome. All right, let's hear it for Mason Rayner taking second place. Oh, it's Rayner, and it's raining. We'll get our third place rider on up. He'll come back. He won't get lost. All right, we need our third place rider of the Special Limited. Third place rider. Third place. Okay, that's not helping. Need Wyatt Thurman, number 24, Wyatt Thurman, to come on up. If I leave this cover, it's over for me because I got electronics. This microphone is worth more than me. I need the number 24 to come up to the podium. 24. We got him? Yeah. Good job. Third place, Walker Herndon. Let's hear it for him. Let me give you your bronze. All right, how'd it go?
Good.
Who do you want to thank?
My mom, my dad, God.
There you go. Good job. Congratulations. Let's hear it. Third place. Come on, Herndon. Let's hear it for him. Yeah. Good job. Hold that up and show him. Hold that up and show him the bronze. Yeah. All right, we got a Herndon up on the podium, and we got to bring up the 94 machine, our Moto winner. I'm trying to make sure my microphone still works, even though I got totally soaked. No sympathy for me because everybody else did as well. Let me see if I say this one right. Kevin DePino. Kevin DePino taking a win in the PW Special Limited. How was it, Kevin?
Good.
Who would you like to thank?
My mom, my dad, my brother, Dan Callahan, MX School, FMF, Scott, and all my sponsors.
Awesome. Good job. Let's hear it for the 94. Kevin DePino, gold medal. And I got 2 more medals to hand out in the rain. Parade lap out on the track. You're good. You guys can grab the bike if you want. And, well, don't even have to go in the creek and cool off this time. Let me try to get our next group. Yikes, stripes. Alex Goatley, looking for Alex Goatley and Landon Ballou. Alex Goatley. Looking for the number 9, Alex Goatley, to come on up. Bring the bike if you want. What the heck? Let's do it. We got room. Go ahead. We're going to break all the rules here and bring the second place bike up. I won't tell if you don't tell. Second place in the Moto, and that's going to earn him a silver. Alex Goatley.
Good job, buddy.
How was your race, Alex?
Good.
Who would you like to thank?
My mom,
Dad,
and my
Gramps,
gramps,
Mimi,
Mimi,
King Cobra, Florida,
King Cobra, Florida,
Bell Helmets,
Bell Helmet,
Liet,
Leah,
O'Neill,
O'Neill,
Cycle Gear,
Cycle Gear.
and everybody we can't think of.
That's the easiest part. All right, good job. Let's hear it for Alex Goatley, taking third or second in Special Limited on the number 9.
Well, looks like we're ready to go into the 250C
Third
class.
place for
Oh,
Xander Reed. These people are pumped. I love it. They don't care if it's raining or it's sunshine. Same thing at the same time. He's your whole shot award. We'll get him in a second. All right, Xander, how was it?
Really good.
Congratulations. Who do you want to thank?
I'd like to thank CF Foundation, my mom and dad, Charlie, Novik, Rhino Power, Rhino's Designs, Zach Mashburn, everyone else I forgot. Thank you.
Xander Reed taking the win. Let's hear it. Second to third on a podium. I'll high five you. I like the attitude. You're pumped up. All right, good job, Xander Reed. Third place. You can head on out and have some fun. Is that a whole shot there? You can bring the rider on up if you want to grab the whole shot award. Even this piece of plastic is somehow soaked, which I didn't even think plastic could get affected by water. Colton Duranko's got your whole shot award from Bell Helmets. Let's hear it for Colton. Good job. $100. Who do you want to thank?
My mom, dad, Nario Izzy, Scott, A Service,